So how do you know you need the shocks changed? Well, most people, it's because the garage tells you it won't pass inspection. But there's other reasons why that you have to change your rear shocks. And it could be as simple as your car is approaching 100,000 miles and it's a good idea to do it. That way you can get back the nice smooth ride as you did whenever the car was new. Also, some of the reasons why it wouldn't pass inspection could be as simple as your rear shocks are leaking oil. Or if they push down on your back bumper and it bounces more than 2 times, then you have to change them. For whatever reason you need to change them, you just need to know what's the steps and how easy it is, because it's very easy. On your way in, give this video a thumbs up and let's see how easy it is to do it. First thing we got to do is we got to break all the lug nuts loose. You'll need a 22 millimeter and a breaker bar. I'll go ahead and put the step-by-step instructions in the description below. That way if you want to print that out, that would make it easier for you. Also, a list of the tools and a link to Amazon where I got the set of shocks. And find a good solid spot under your car to jack it up once you're ready to take off the wheel. Go ahead and roll it out of the way, and now you have access to the shock. But first, you might want to move the jack if you don't have more than one. Move it over under the control arm and a little bit of pressure to release the shock. Then we'll start off with the lower shock bolt. You will need to take a 13/16 or a 21-inch wrench for the nut side and a 21 millimeter socket on the bolt head side. You want to remove using the bolt head side, not the nut side. Take the nut off, pull the bolt out, and lay it off to the side. Then you want to grab yourself a socket, 15 millimeter on the bolt head side, and an 18 millimeter wrench on the nut side. So this bolt, you have to be careful because of this brake line. We can take this bracket off. It's not necessary, but this will make it a little bit easier taking this bracket off. It's 15 millimeter. If you have air tools, it might make it easier and quicker, but most people don't have air tools, such as myself. And the shock comes out. Let's check this out. This shock don't look too bad. Unlike the other side had oil leaking out of it. So here's the new shock. I decided to go with Bilstein. Not sure if that's exactly how you pronounce it. But they are, it says made in Germany. And I did research on what shocks do we use. Is that a question you have as well? There are so many choices. You can get cheap shocks, you can get expensive shocks. So I kind of found the mid-range shocks, and I'll have a link in the description below of this exact one. And so before we put this in, it is recommended that because of shipping and the shocks being laying horizontal, that we need to cycle the shock, moving the gases from the working chamber into the reservoir. And so how you do that? Now you don't have to do this. Push it down, let it go back up on its own, and do that 3 times. It helps get rid of any noise right after you first change the shocks, and it could even reduce the performance for a while. So now let's put this bad boy on. Basically, it's doing everything in reverse. So let's get it on here real quick. Now we'll stick this back down in here. Remember, this dome edge goes towards the control arm. Put that back on there. We will put this bracket back on like this. Snug it up good. So then we'll torque this to 52 foot-pounds. There we go. Now basically the same as you took it off, make sure there's this dome is in this crater, and it's easy, it turns. There's a washer on the outside of the bolt and the washer on the opposite side. So we'll put this all in here. I'm going to jack it up just a hair. There, went right in. And they recommend to put a new bolt on here because it's a torque sealed bolt. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to go ahead and reuse this one. Okay, now we use the 13/16 or 21 on the nut side, like we took it off, and the 21 on the bolt side. And we'll go ahead and tighten that up. Tighten up the bolt side, not the nut side. And then torque this at 72 foot-pounds. Now we got that on. And then we go ahead and put the wheel back on. Then you will snug them up. Now if you know how, I'm sure you're looking then we have to do the front shocks. What do we have to do now? Since there'll be a video. Lower down the jack. That will show you how to do the fronts. So let's drop the jack down a little bit so we can put some pressure on the tire. And then we are torquing this. Now how do we torque this? We do it the cross method. There you go. Then we go to this one and tighten it. And after you torque them, it wouldn't be a bad idea to take a drive around the block, check out the shocks, and then double check the torque. Another successful job done. Thank you for watching. Give us a thumbs up on your way out. And like always, have a great day.